Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Just Another Struggling Writer, the Beleaguered Author's one-stop shop for commiseration and hopefully inspiration. My name is Carrie Scher, and I am just another struggling writer. Well, today is Saturday, March 8th, and as you can possibly tell, I am just a little bit under the weather, which sucks because I did have some big plans for this weekend. I wanted to go to the bookstore, I wanted to do some thrifting, I wanted to get some laundry done, I needed to do a bunch of reading for school, I wanted to finish at least one book, possibly two, and most importantly, I wanted to write 10,000 words. All of that was going to be pretty tough to cram into a single weekend when I'm feeling at my best, not looking like it's a real possibility to do much of any of that now. So with that in mind, I am going to narrow my focus and instead just hone in on getting writing done, because despite not feeling super great, I do still want to get those 10,000 words. I didn't write yesterday, Friday, or Thursday because of this, and so I am a little bit behind even where I was on Monday when I was already behind. And I do still very much want to get this draft done by the end of this month, which only gives me 3 weeks to get 39,000 words. So a big 10K weekend would really help me out. My plan is to park here on this couch and write in 1,000-word increments until I hit at least 5,000, but I would prefer to get at least 7,000 because tomorrow, Sunday, I do have a hair appointment, barring that this doesn't get any worse, and I do have a paper to write. Those definitely need to get done tomorrow, which will obviously take up more time. I'd like to get the majority of the 10,000 done today. In between those 1,000-word increments, I'll take little breaks. I may need a nap at some point, but before I go to bed tonight, I want to hit at least 5,000, preferably 7,000. And yes, I know, the last time I did a big 10,000-word weekend, I completely burnt myself out. But a couple of things. I am fresh off of vacation just a couple of weeks ago. I'm much closer to the end, and I have the deadline to motivate me. So I'm hoping that those 3 things combined mean that I'm not, at the end of this weekend, totally like, I can't even think about this draft anymore because I'm right in the thick of it. I'm right in the best part, which is the run up to the climax and then the climax and end. So I feel really strongly about where I'm at, and I think that the mental boost I'll get from getting further ahead and making up some of the ground that I've lost will help propel me and not do the opposite like what happened last time. I've just ordered some lunch. It's on its way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to get my space set up. I'm going to eat my lunch. And then probably at about noon, and it's just after 11 now, I will actually get started. I may check in with you guys periodically. I probably should, but also just because I'm not feeling super great, I may not get on camera again for a while. I'll just have to see how it goes. This is just another thing that working writers have to deal with sometimes, is being sick and being on deadline anyway. So I will see you guys in a bit. Hey y'all, just checking in really quickly. It is now 1:45 and I am at 1,284 words. So it took me a little bit longer to kind of get into it. I've had some distractions, and then I decided to jump into the stream hosted by Ari and Becca and Mick to motivate myself to get more done. But I'm up to almost 1,300 words. I am just about to wrap up this scene. I just dropped the big reveal, and then I've got a couple more paragraphs to finally close out this scene, and then I'm going to move right into the antagonist confrontation. So I've got a lot of big moments coming up. I'm feeling that 5,000 is definitely doable today. Like I said, I have nothing else going on but to sit on this couch and get that done. It's going well, not great, but well. But I think I'm starting to kind of get back into the flow after kind of struggling to get started. So I'm hoping by the end of the stream, I'll add like another 1,000 words, and then I will take like a little bit of a longer break to just attend to my needs, maybe take a little rest. So that's it. Not too shabby so far for an hour and 45 minutes. Looking forward to finishing out the stream and hopefully getting that output to time ratio a little bit better. Hey y'all, just checking in again. It is just about 5 o'clock and I just got up from an attempted nap. I say attempted because I didn't actually get to go to sleep, but I do feel a little bit more energized for having rested. So there's that at least. I closed my computer at 3:15 after hitting 2,500 words. So for about 3 hours of work, 2,500 words, I would need to do 6 more hours of work to get closer to where I want to be at 5 o'clock. Not looking like it's happening unless I really buckle down and start concentrating, which we'll see. But I am just about to dive back into another sprint. I just refilled my tummy, so got some fuel in addition to the rest. If I get 800 more words-ish, I will cross over 70,000, which just feels so incredible. And to be fair, part of the reason that the morning sprints took so long to get that amount of words is because at one point I did stop writing and really consider whether or not I needed to scrap the last 1,000 words. There's a plot point right at the end of that scene that has been there forever, since the dawn of time. This is always going to occur, but I think I mentioned it a couple times now that as I have drafted, that plot point has become less and less relevant, and I hadn't decided whether or not I would keep it. So I came up on it and I decided to go ahead and write it, but afterwards, after I got out of that scene and into the next one, I was kind of contemplating that wisdom. It didn't feel like it really fit anymore, so I stopped and I was like, okay, I could take it out, but that's literally like 1,000 words that I just wrote. Do I really want to set myself back that far? And ultimately, I would have done that. I would have rewritten it if there weren't future implications based on that plot point that I don't have a way to replace yet. It could be that as I get there into those scenes later on, I find a natural way to replace them, but I don't have one right now. And so I'm leaving it in, but I'm very strongly leaning towards revising it out when I get to revision. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it in. That's what first drafts are for, is kind of figuring all this stuff out. But that was part of the reason that some of those sprints did not produce nearly as many words as I expected, but because I had to stop and was like very seriously considering just taking out the last 1,000 and rewriting it. I've now moved into the scene with the direct confrontation with the antagonist for the first time. I am currently sitting at 66%, so I feel like that's a good place to have this moment. I'm really hoping to have this act, not quite, in the original outline, this would be the end of Act 3 coming up, and I'm hoping to have Act 3 of the 6-act structure done, maybe by the end of the day. It'd be tight, but certainly by the end of the weekend. No more lollygagging, no more yapping. Let's just get right back into it. Hey y'all, just checking in. It is actually now Wednesday evening, and you may have noticed you haven't seen me since Saturday. I have done a little bit of writing since Saturday. I think I finished off Saturday with just over 3,500 words, and I did a tiny bit of writing on Sunday, and then I did a tiny bit of writing yesterday on Tuesday, but that's really been about it. So really, including Saturday, 4,000 words, which is not the end of the world, but I am trying to get this draft finished by the end of the month, and we are coming up on the middle of the month, and I've barely made any progress, and I'm really starting to think that it's not happening. And I'm just like super overwhelmed right now. Not just with the draft, but like my school right now is so intense. I've never had a term like this before where the workload has been this heavy. Like it's only the second week and I have 4 assignments due this week in addition to all the reading required. And one of those assignments is a project. It's a 16 slide presentation. It's just so much work. I'm just really I'm having a hard time balancing that with the writing and the reading and the content, plus being sick and not really feeling 100% and trying to use this week, which is the week my kids are with their dad, to catch up on everything. And I just feel so overwhelmed. And like yesterday, I completely crashed out because I filmed a video and it didn't go very well because I was so I felt really muddled and was having a hard time with it, and it took forever, and the battery in the camera died, and I was struggling with my computer, and it was just like a really difficult time. Afterwards I was like, what was the point of that? No one is going to see it. It's going to go on my reading channel, which is still really, really small and not really getting a much of an audience. And so I was just saying, what is the point? So I closed that off. I didn't even bother uploading the footage, and then I started writing, and I couldn't even make progress in the writing very much because I felt stuck. The scene that I'm in right now is a big confrontation. It's always been on the docket. And unfortunately, the problem with scenes like this is in the outline, since I know it's there, I don't really elaborate on it. And so now that I'm here and I have to actually go through the motions and navigate the scene, I don't know how because I haven't put any forethought into it. And that is true of most of the other really important scenes that I've struggled with. Is I know that they're there, so I just block them out in the outline and don't really think about what it means. I just know what the outcome has to be. So actually taking the steps to reach that outcome is a kind of a big mystery. I'm struggling to get through the scene, which is really holding up my progress. And yeah, it's just not been a good time. It's just not been a good time. I'm really having a hard time. And now it's looking like I'm not going to make the March 31st deadline. I'm going to push it into April, which is the last thing I wanted to do. I really wanted to get this done by quarter 1, but I don't think it's possible while navigating this heavy workload with school and trying to do everything else. And I'm feeling really down about it. Like I said, after I struggled with writing, I just went to bed early and just laid in bed, and my mind was still racing with the anxiety and the overwhelm and everything. And it took, even though I went to bed early, I didn't really get a lot of sleep, which of course compounds the issue. I'm feeling a little bit better today. I got home early. I had a meeting and then we were cut loose early. So I got home a little bit early. I took a nap, which I needed after last night. And then I got up and have been working on my homework pretty much ever since. I got about a third of the project done and then, started some of the other homework as well. I'm not in a good place right now for writing. And that sucks because I really wanted to have this draft done. But it is, I'm slowly coming to terms with the fact that it's just not happening. It is not happening. So that's my update. Sorry, it's so grim. I wanted to go and get some more writing done now, and I still may, but I don't know. I'm just worried that if I attack it right now, that it's only going to make the paralysis of my brain worse. I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go eat dinner because it's almost 8:30 and I haven't eaten yet. Just kidding. It's almost 9 and I haven't eaten yet. So I'm going to eat dinner and hopefully, that'll get my mind up straight. Either way, I'm going to wrap up this video here. I regret that it ended up not being as writing heavy as I intended. And I hate to end it on this kind of note. I have always striven to give an unfiltered look into what it is like to try and write a novel while working and having kids and everything else. So often with social media, we only see the positives, we only see the successes, we only see when things are going great, and the pitfalls and the valleys and the low moments are hidden because first of all, it takes an act of courage, I think, to be that vulnerable on the internet. And second of all, no one wants to be remembered for those low moments. So I get it. I'm not criticizing anyone who doesn't post post these kinds of unfiltered moments, but that's just not me. I want to be known for authenticity, and unfortunately this is part of my authentic writing experience, is feeling completely overwhelmed and missing deadlines and not feeling capable and struggling. I mean, that's why I named the channel what it is, Just Another Struggling Writer, because I am truly struggling, and I am just like other writers who are struggling in these moments and struggling toward that goal. I can't even remember why I went on that tirade, but yeah, I will never apologize for being authentic and showing the real moments and showing the downtimes in addition to the successes, because I will be successful. I will get this draft finished. I have absolute confidence in that. I have never had this much success with writing a draft before, and I know that I'm going to get there. I absolutely know that. It just sucks that it won't be the deadline that I wanted it to be. But here in the next month or 6 weeks, there will be a video where I say I finished the draft and we're going to celebrate. It's just not looking like it'll be on the 31st. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do so appreciate it. I cannot begin to express how much I appreciate it. This would not be possible without you guys and without knowing that I'm not alone in this struggle. I credit a lot of the success I have had with this draft to having a channel and being able to come on and talk about it and having a community and going on the live streams and everything. So I really do appreciate it. If you like my content and want to support the channel, please like and subscribe, or consider leaving a comment down below. I'm hoping to get back on the writing wagon this weekend, but my homework will have to come first. So since the writing isn't really feeling like it's happening, I'm trying to turn my attention to my homework so that I can knock it out and get back into a writing mood, because I think that's really what is killing the vibe right now, is the stress of the homework and having so much to do and not enough time to do it in. So I hope to have a writing vlog for you on Tuesday, but either way, I hope you look forward to it, and I will see you then.